This is the Aviation Business Podcast, the podcast that equips your aviation business to achieve a higher altitude. Now, here's your host, Tim Bonnell.
Okay, welcome back, everyone, to the Aviation Business Podcast. And for the last several episodes, as we posted over the last couple of months, we've really been celebrating the big 3-year anniversary. And we've revisited a number of topics we've did over the last 3 years, leading up to today, where we're really capping off that celebration and kind of announcing a new direction. As we've gone through 3 years of weekly podcasts, we've talked about vision and values and direction and goals. And so as we hit that 3-year mark, it was a great opportunity for me to kind of evaluate, where do we go? Eventually, we had to revisit that, just like we talk about when we talk about vision. You have to revisit it and see where you're at and where you're going. And so I was like, we've covered a lot of great leadership and personal development topics. We get a lot of requests and a lot of great interest when we actually talk about the aviation insurance business. And so our ultimate vision for the Aviation Business Podcast is to help aviation businesses to achieve a higher altitude. And so part of that is understanding risk and insurance. So we're actually, I'm pleased to announce today, going to create a sister podcast called the Aviation Insurance Podcast, where we'll start from the basics and help teach people how to better understand aircraft and aviation insurance. So we'll start at a basic level and continue to build on that knowledge, where we'll ultimately have a reference library available to you on our website, both in a blog, a transcripted format, and in our video and audio podcast. So we're going to continue to produce the Aviation Business Podcast. We're just going to reduce our frequency. The current plan is to go from every week to twice a month, and to do some more expanded information, including interviews with industry experts. So that is the goal. We are going to crank out a lot of podcast episodes for the Aviation Insurance Podcast because we have a lot of information to cover, and we're excited to share it with you. But our vision has changed. The ultimate purpose has not changed into helping to equip aviation businesses to achieve a higher altitude, but we are kind of pivoting and investing more of our time in equipping them and understanding their risk and insurance a little more. So I've only got so much time, so I've got to divide my attention into the different areas. So this podcast will just have a little bit less frequency, but we still think it's valuable information we want to continue to bring to you. It'll just be a little bit different. So that's kind of the pivot. That's how we're going to celebrate our first 3 years by looking ahead into the next 3 years and how we're going to continue to develop and bring this information to you. So if you've been with us for 1 or 2 episodes or a couple of years, thank you for listening. We hope you've benefited, that this has brought value to you, your company, you personally, your family even, because ultimately development with business starts with development of self. And so you investing your time is such a key into developing yourself. You have to take that opportunity to step away from the day-to-day rigor of business and personal life to grow and develop yourself. So thank you for investing your time, and continue to do that. Have that mindset, that growth mindset, that you can and will continue to grow, that you will learn from your challenges and your obstacles, and invest that time, because if you don't invest your time in growing, you won't, and your business will show the results. So anyway, thank you for being a faithful listener, and take your business to a higher altitude by being someone who continues to learn and grow personally and in your business. So here's your aviation fun fact for today. We'll return to, and we're going to go to June 21st of 2004. Can't believe it's been that long, where Spaceship One was the first non-government built spacecraft to transport a person into space and return safely to Earth. So Spaceship One was an experimental air-launched rocket-powered aircraft with suborbital spaceflight capability at speeds of 3,000 feet per second, using a hybrid rocket motor. The design features a unique feathering atmospheric reentry system where the rear half of the wing and the twin tail booms fold 70 degrees upward along a hinge running the length of the wing. This increases the drag while retaining stability. If that sounded scientific and didn't make sense to you, just go ahead and do a search in your favorite search engine and look at the pictures. It'll make better sense. But a big step forward in the space evolution, and makes it a good fun fact for the day. So until next time, keep your wheels up and your attitude high.
Thanks for listening to the Aviation Business Podcast. If you found this episode of value, please share with someone who could benefit from its content. You can stay up to date by subscribing in iTunes or your podcast player of choice. This episode is brought to you by Aris Insurance Solutions, your flight plan for navigating the turbulence in aviation insurance. To find out more, go to arisinsurance.com. That's AERIS insurance.com.